increase sub goals like sub goal decomposition, chain of thought, self-critic, and reflection. So every iteration, it will look at the original question and say, have I answered the original question with my fullest ability? Can I answer this better? Is it only part? Should I break the question into iterations until I get to the answer? What is my plan? And that is the chain of thought, and then break it into sub goals and sort of do a reflection of, is this the answer, best answer to give? So you have some sort of agent can go through multiple iterations and So in the future, it can be all together or these, but once it an LLM these tools and it will invoke the function with the right variable or parameter. So rather than you having to search for 2023, it will actually break it into multiple pieces. Once it will search in the database for 2023 and then 2024 in our example, and then use the calculator to do the calculation. So the multiple iteration happen from the agent, but the thought process of it is actually the LLM you provide. So earlier we said we work with any LLM. So we ourselves, Oracle themselves have OCI, what to say, Gen AI service or LLM, which can run in your private network as a service. But we are open to third-party LLMs like OpenAI, Cohere, any of these, your Claude, XAI, to name a few, but any of these you want, you are open to use those. It's your application, so definitely uh, you can work on any of these uh, tools. The other thing is these LLM classes come with short-term and long-term memory. Short-term memory is more like in a chat, it can remember the context. And long-term memory is mostly like from, let us say, a conversation, you can look at what is the FAQ of mostly asked questions. You can profile a certain uh, company or candidate and see what are the type of questions he asks and what can I learn to make it better the next time. Sort of just like a experienced agent, long term memory can sort of help improve the agent over time by through experience. And short-term memory is it should remember your name and just the previous statement so that it will have more context of how to answer better. So these are some things taught to the LLM so that the agent becomes uh, what to say, known to how to react or interact. So when it comes to agent, I actually raise my finger, three fingers, and say these are the three components that really make a complete agent or agentics. One is the tools. The agent has a list of tools it needs. The other is the model. So as I mentioned, the model can be anything: XAI, OpenAI, GenAI, any model. So even within these LLM providers, there are specific models. Like Oracle now helps you to run certain OpenAI models within your private network as well. So these are some of the additional services we provide. Model, and then we run I think meta models and Claude models, uh, Cohere models, and
Right.
OpenAI models can run. So that's the model one. tools I mentioned, and the other is the agent prompt. Prompt is the class you define what is the role of this agent. Uh, so uh, agent can be a system administrator, a persona of a DBA with certain tasks to do, or a travel agent. You have to define what the role of the agent is, and then you sort of give him do's and don'ts in the prompt of what he can do and what he cannot do. So these things really constitute the any agentic application. I'll repeat: it is the tools, it is the model, and the prompt or persona of the agent. I'll briefly stop. Any questions? You can put it in the chat or raise your arm, and I can take these questions. Nothing so far. Okay. Uh, Okay, so AI agent characteristic, reasoning and self-reflection. Agents can learn from prior actions, reflecting and adapting. Uh, and it is also called a React framework because of reasoning and direct actions. Action and reasoning makes it React framework. And it has access to multiple tools. So it can do the reasoning, refining, iterations, and access tools. And that's what makes it an agentic characteristics or AI. Uh, Agent memory, short-term memory, and long-term. As I mentioned, session memory is short-term. Long-term is more of an experience of an agent to improve on, get free FAQs, uh, what to say, customer profiling. These are things you can implement, and they can be available. If it is a big list, it can be part of your vector embedding in using RAG as well. Long-term memory can be stored anyway. AI allows tools, as I mentioned in the architecture. Tools allow agents to perform actions beyond LLM capabilities, access to real-time information, code execution, and integration with APIs. So tools can be anything. It could be API integrated. It could be third-party APIs called from within your what to say application. So when you integrate your agent can be part of your front-end chat, which will ask a question, or it can be uh, over voice, or it could be part of a backend agentic which will take in input from front-end tools and do the agentic thing in the behind. So uh, the way your application is developed can be anyways, but the basic thing is it does beyond what an LLM can do, and that is specifically interacting with these tools. And these tools are mostly developed by you, but you can also subscribe to external what to say functions or tools in the form of APIs. Okay, so this is an example of how you define the model. So model, you define what the model is. In this case, Oracle originally had Cohere as some of the models. What is the URL to access it? And because this is more of an secure option to run Agentic Lab, we require you to get the key from within your Oracle Cloud access. And these are other things like temperature, is sort of regular model things like how consistent your answer need to be for the same question. And max tokens is how precise or concise your response has to be. The bigger, larger tokens, it can reflect upon more, what to say, deeper thought and give you a bigger answer depending on the tokens. So this is how you initialize a model. Um and then the prompt or the persona I mentioned, you create, and what is different from regular coding to AI coding is pretty much the persona definition. You are not actually writing C code or Python code to initialize these prompts or persona. You are just telling in plain English what the agent's role is, his what he can do, what he cannot, what he must, what he must not. So those are some of the things you define here. In this, you are saying you are an assistant that can search documents, look up emails in the relational database, and use third-party tool to create PDF if you have access to those. So this is the role, and you have access to chat history. This is the memory, what to say, short-term memory. You have access to that using chat history, and user input. This is how you think, thought, action, input, observation, and repeat until your action is got. And final answer is when you say you are actually asking your LLM to sort of log final answer and then the final response, so that that's what will trigger your front end application to pick up the final answer and display it on the screen or return it to the next phase. So this is a general prompt. These prompts can be uh, more in what to say, this is just some way, but it's not necessary you have to follow this format. It could be many, and each of these model can come up with some examples of how to define for those models. So uh, uh, problems with AI agents. What are AI agents? So uses LLMs to plan, reason, take action, uh, and interact with external tools and API to accomplish goals. Challenges with architecture, Oracle tool misuse. AI agents can break boundaries and leak information. Lack of control over which tools are available. No built-in mechanism for auditing and compliance. So, uh, one thing I will say is agents, when you define agentic integration, uh, the tools are part of your agentic programming. Uh, One thing you can do, the just you can say two couple of months, the trend is MCP and MCP server. The way I see agentic MCP servers is, rather than making these tools part of your agentic code, if you can develop all the tools and host it on a server and allow when you instantiate an agent with the prompt, you also look at all the hosted tools uh, in MCP, and that's what you can say is really architecture of an MCP server is you're isolating tools from the agent initialization. Okay, so that's how I look at what an MCP server is hosting of tools. So there are some advantages. One is your tools are developed once but can be used by many agents. I feel that is one of the biggest advantage. um, you are isolated from which model or which LLM provider you want to use when you're developing tools. So it's not a separate program for OpenAI, separate program for Cohere. You don't have to change that part of the code for developing your tools. Tools can be standardized no matter which LLM provider you are going. And as we speak, more protocol or standardization is happening with the security aspect of it. Uh, I still would say one of the biggest uh, evolution of these MCP servers is suddenly there are some companies that said that our APIs we can provide in the form of uh, an MCP server. So rather than being authenticated and getting uh, getting the API access, you can now get an API access to an MCP server, and then with that comes all the tools. So what Oracle and everybody else in right now is saying is the security aspect is still not complete. So you need to have a trust on from whom you are subscribing these tools. The tools may look very nice, like it can do financial reading, your health, looking at your blood work report. It can give you a health report. It can be any tool that can you subscribe to can might be able to do some things, but how much of trust do you put into it? I would I would trust the one tools I only develop and put it within my network. But then if you are already using APIs from trusted source, maybe that's where you can go. The reason being, uh, LLM is limited to some description of what the tool does. What if the hosted MCP server changes the description and then it becomes more intrusive? So these are some of the things being developed and standardized as what is secure and what is not secure. How what is the level of trust you can have and define? Those are the things being developed as we speak. Okay, so uh, MCP is more of an layer between the agent and your tools. So the tools could be uh, what to say, a database or several other tools. MCP servers are here. Your client is pretty much where your agent is. So uh, in a three-tier architecture, you can say your agent is the middle tier. It might have a browser interface, but in the backend, the agent will use MCP protocol to call the MCP server, which internally will be hosting all your tools. And tools could be accessing ability to access your private database, do some RAG search in Oracle database, or create PDF or send email, anything. So it's just not data source. It can be any of those in the backend. So just as I mentioned, tool isolation does help. One of the biggest is isolation of code development or tool development from all your models and agent. Once you have one tool, uh, many applications or many agents can have access to that. Uh, Depending on additional security roles, uh, agents can have access to different tools, although hosted in a single MCP server. The architecture also says one agent can have access to multiple MCP servers. Each of these MCP servers can have multiple tools. So the isolations can be done anyway, but when you initialize the agent, that's when the discovery process happens to look into the MCP server. Uh, any questions so far? Chandra, Blake, are you monitoring the chat session?
Yes, we're responding to the Q&A.
Okay. Uh, how am I on time? Okay, I do have 20 minutes.
Yes, VJ, about 20 minutes.
Okay. So again, the standards are still being developed. Oracle has uh, a version of MCP Server called MCP Server for Database, uh, where we say that uh, we have a sort of a SQL CLI tool which will connect to your database, and then we have couple of defined tools that can access your database, run some queries, and get you results. In the future, we can have more of customized tools where you can define, in addition to what Oracle provides, customized tools to run within the database, but hosted as an NCP server with each of these functions as a tool. But the way you access it is of two ways. One is direct access using username, password, or OAuth 2 connections, and the other is through HTTP and HTTPS protocol. Oracle now supports only uh, the MCP server through standard IO. So essentially, we already have SQL CL, which is a command line tool to access any database. We added just additional libraries, and you start a MCP server with just SQL CL dash MCP, and it would start a listener in the backend and start an MCP server. That easy, and you have just one parameter where you can give what the source connections are, and you can list those connections and run SQL queries based on the question you are asking from it. List uh, list connections, connect, run. So these are some of the MCP server connections in design. So briefly, before we show a demo of what MCP can do, I have a demo of Oracle agentic agents using Gen AI. Let me show you that. Oh, not this. Okay. So I can start a agentic session by it's a small Streamlit application I'm starting here. This is the output of that agentic program I'm running. So essentially, I have defined the model I'm using. I have a function that will do RAG search of unstructured data. I have an application that can send emails, and I have a tool that can access the database and look up email ID of people. So let me start by actually loading the data for database to search. So my favorite document has always been Oracle AI new features. Let me load it up. So what happens internally right now is the data is loaded into that program. The program breaks it up into chunks, and for each chunk, or chunk is almost like a page but defined as say 2000 characters, or your chunk. uh, Oracle already has a model in the database. Using the model, it sort of creates a vector column, inserts the data in it, and it's ready for searching. The searching can happen using standard RAG libraries like LangSearch, Llama Index, any of those external tools, or even DBS can use it using SQL function. So SQL function like uh, with the embedding of a certain question, do vector distance of this vector column, and get me the top 10 results. So there is a SQL way you can access, or you can use external function to access RAG searches. So that is part of the tool in this case. And let me see if I can say, hi, my name is Vijay. So it says hello. So the assistant's persona is, it is an assistant. It is supposed to greet me and help me with asking questions based on the document. So let me say list 5 new features from the document. So right now, if you look at the back end, it is doing iterations in using the RAG search, and then it picks up 5 different what to say data, and lo and behold, you have the data here. So it has listed five uh, 5 different features from the document. So basically, this is demonstrating uh, RAG search in the database for a PDF you just uploaded. It could be any PDF, but uh, Oracle is my favorite document to load. Okay, and now I can say uh, send this as email uh, to Vijay. So if you look at it, I'm saying this. The agent has to figure out what this is. And I'm saying email to Vijay, the agent have to figure out what the email is. So it will do a relational database lookup because I have defined a tool that will do lookup for emails and get the email. So it will do a lookup on that. Uh, and the tool can have things like returning one email, first email, or couple of emails, and then the agent needs to ask who do you want to send. There are many Vijay's in the database. So those are the things you can configure in your tool and agent persona, and then you say send email. Uh, Let us give it more challenges from Milton. Okay, and let's see what happens, whether it will be able to pick up. So it's looking at the question. It already figured out Milton has an email. Uh, it's done it. So email was successfully sent to Milton. Subject new features for Vijay, and then it sent. So essentially, it sent an email. Okay, send this to Vijay. Okay, so now it has figured out my email ID, subject, new features from the document, and yes, I get the email as well. Uh, do you remember my name? Yes. So this is the sort of a test of whether it remembers my name from the session. So that's the short-term memory demonstration. Uh, so this is agentic. Let me uh, So this is like with this, what I want to highlight is third-party integration, that is the email, integration of database RAG search or vector data or your AI related vector data with relational database was sending an email uh, and what to say, mixing the data with the unstructured data from the PDF and demonstrating short-term memory. So this is what I have demonstrated all the aspects of agentic AI. From my point of view, if there is somebody using or working on something for a decade or two, uh, and it is a monotonous work, you know what you are doing, an agent can easily do that. So that is the level at which the what to say, the reason of why every company is asking about agents is specifically this, is that the ability to converse, to run applications rather than navigating through wizard driven clicks, is what makes this powerful. The decision of what clicks to do is essentially what Agentics does, you can say, to make the end user experience a little easier. Uh,
Vijay, you have a question. Can you answer Arvind's question
yeah, sure. What?
regarding this particular demo?
Yeah, what was the question?
Arvind says, what are the agentic AI components? It looks like basic RAG search in the demo.
Yeah, so basically four tools have been defined. One is DB RAG search, which is what you saw. The other is email lookup, which is a relational database lookup of, you send a name called Vijay, it will call the email lookup and it will get the email ID from the database. Okay, and there is a live lab section that will do exactly this, so that you will learn and you can look at the code as well. And then finally, third party integration, which is defined by sending the email. So email sending is not part of any RAG, right? So these four things it can do, and short term memory also demonstrated here. Okay. So I'm not, okay, so it's in the question answer, is it? I'm not seeing the question answer here.
Yeah, Sean DeConth fulfilled it as answer um,
Okay.
through you.
Okay. Are there any open questions? Did you send uh, an email? If open Gmail, can you see that if it is sent? So I did use Gmail for authentication. There is a specific client token to configure that. So I did send an email. So yeah, so seeing is believing. I am as because I developed this, so I know it's my demo, so I have seen the let's see the, yeah, so the email just came in from Gmail, as the case may be here. So this is what was sent. So yeah, good. Everybody needs to, technical guys should always have trust issues. That way, only seeing is believing. I'm that type as well. Any other questions? I think rest have been answered, right? So yeah, so this is more of an not specifically Oracle, but the trend of where Gen AI Agentics is going, and what Oracle is doing in this phase is that we are embracing that, and we are probably the only ones who can very easily do what to say, unstructured and relational database integration with third party, and put everything all in a box for a quick and rapid solution. You don't have to take anything out of the database to get to what you want. Any other questions? Okay, let me go back to the where I left off. So yeah, not to be outdone, Oracle has come up with many tools. Some are outside, like Agent Studio, which Blake mentioned, where it's easy, uh, sort of a low code way of developing tools, and one is a low code way of developing MCP servers. There are many freeware, shareware and GitHub repositories that will allow you to create these MCP servers. Oracle has one. We are calling it more of an MCP server for your database and specific tools we are running. And it can integrate with uh, right now, Oracle is sort of not released it to the mass public. We are saying you can only integrate it with uh, Visual Code and Claude as desktops, which are documented, but you can always uh, write your own Python code to access these tools and code for a specific database and create an interface with your agentic what to say application. Uh, just very easy to install. Uh, just start the MCP server and tell uh, where your SQL server lies, where the what the command is and what the argument is, and it will just start it up. Okay, uh, just the argument dash MCP will start your MCP server. And these are the tools. Connect. I think the first is it will you can say list connections. It will tell what are the connections you can access. Disconnect is a command which will disconnect from the database. Connect. If you say connect and the database name from the list connection, it will connect. Run SQL will run the SQL. Uh, Run SQL CL is a special library integration where it can run some AWR report or additional integration to SQL CL and uh, more of undocumented right now, but more and more integrations will happen, like reading an AWR, sending ability to export data. A lot of things are yet to come. And even this has a prompt, and these are more of a prompt definition. This tool executes SQL queries. If no active connection exists, the prompt the user to connect using the connect tool. So this is the definition of what that MCP server does to integrate with the MCP server for databases. Again, as I mentioned, the security has been uh, still evolving. So, if you are connecting to try these MCP servers, Oracle is cautioning don't put it as a hosted app where everybody has access to these MCP server and they can ask questions to the database and the database has high privileges. Uh, Regular cautionary things. Do not trust anybody. As a DBA, if you have those privileges and that's the connection you are doing, essentially all the things the DBA can do, the MCP question can do if you have a chat interface face with this. So be cautious all the time. Uh, Ashu is there. Ashu, you want to show a demo of MCP servers?
Sure, sure. What time we have? 2 minutes. Okay. So I'll
Yeah.
quickly share one example. If you
How can I stop my share? Did I stop sharing?
not yet.
Ah, stop share. Got it.
Okay. Let me. So let me know when you see my screen.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is the clouded desktop. I have set it up with my SQL Shell MCP server. So let me just walk you through where we have done the configuration. It's in the setting part. If you go to the developer options, so you will find a way to how you can load MCP servers here. So there's a config file present in your Cloud A folder. So if you open that one, right? So this is where you can find the command that we are running for SQL. So it's a part of your SQL's tilde SQL tool and the -MCP argument, which is been responsible to running up the MCP server within that MCP server tool. So this is the one I have. So maybe you can add multiple MCP servers in your Cloud Extra based on your needs. All right. So let's go back to our chat. So first we'll ask a simple question here, right? Like list DB connections, right? So once I ask them, it will find a tool which is basically responsible for our query. Like we need to list all the connection what we have. So it selected the list connection tool. And once it got response, it will just prompt all the connection we have, right? So then we'll ask them to connect with our Cloud MCP database, right? So it will found the connect tool will be responsible for connecting you to the database, and it will just prompt you to the database environment configs. And let me put a complex query because we are running out of time. So this is the query I wanted to run. So in my this database, I already have some data, right, which is basically dealing with photos table, you can say, right, which has all the details related to my photos column. Like it has the location field, which is responsible for storing the location for all those data, and we have the embedding store in it. So this is the complex query I need to run on top of my database. Like show me the top three photos grouped by year within past 5 years, and based on the similarity of the attached image, we will filter the result by 20 miles from Delhi. Let me just change it to some, let's change it to New York as we are running New York data with some 100 plus views. And you can use the database query result to provide some visual representation like a dashboard we need, right? So as soon as I click trigger here, so you can see how it will find a step like an agent, how what are the steps need to execute to get find the result for this particular query, right? So what it first it will look the understandable table, right? What are the tables available in my desktop, right? So in my table, you can see it will found all the tables, and it is doing some like queries. Like I found the two photos one, so it put some queries like find some like photos, images, or all those pictures, right? And based on that, it found a photos table. Then it tried to understand it more, right? Describe the table. So based on description, it will get the table structure here. What are the columns available within my photos table? So you can see my photo table have the photo ID landmark, which is basically responsible for having the photo information. And apart from that, it will do on those. Once it have those structure ready, it will perform some landmark variations. Like it will just look for the geographic distribution and get some sample data. But the main query is in the last one. If I open it here, you can see this particular complex query is generated by my single NL prompt, right? And based on the result it will just create a dashboard for you. Right, currently it's creating, but I have previously created one. So let me just share that one only. Give me a sec. I'm just okay.
Ashu, after this, I
Yes.
will give them the live lab links and
So
wrap
this is
this up.
dashboard, it is generated. So if I scroll it on the top, you can see the photo similarity analysis based on the query. So this is the basically the query part that it is generated, and some analysis summary like the percentage, the average percentage matches, the closest smile that it found, the number of most views in the location. And if you see it here, it is segregated by years, like this particular monument having this percent of similarity. And similar to the other, as we attach the Statue of Liberty image, it has the closest similarity, right, with 95%. And similar way, it will found the other result as well. So that way you can see from a simple SQL anal, right, it is generating complex workflow and provided a very beautiful workflow within few minutes or second, you can say. So yep, that's it from my side. To you, Blake, you can continue.
Okay, that yeah, so that is thank you everybody for, I think the chat was active. I'm happy for this interaction. I think the bottom line is
DJ,
yeah,
I have to two more slides and then
yeah,
I
yeah,
think we're
yeah,
done.
yeah. That's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just real quick. So we have two labs that we wanted to propose to you guys. I know some of you guys also asked if you can get your hands on some of these guides and do this yourself at your own time. So Live Labs is kind of like our hub for doing all this. So the first link is develop AI agent applications with LangChain and Oracle Database 23 AI. I put these in the chat, both links. And then the second one is MCP concept. So building AI agents with MCP and Oracle Database 23 AI. Both of these will take you through the concept and the scope of what we discussed today so you can get familiar with it yourself. And stay tuned as well. Live Labs always has things coming out as we roll out new features. And then lastly, registration link. So we have more sessions coming up next week as well as throughout the rest of the month. So next week we have building RAG applications with LangChain and Oracle Database 23 AI. I also put that registration link in the chat. I know some of the folks left because it was kind of getting a little later. So if you want to share that with any of your friends or family, as it may be, go ahead. And then after that, we have talk with industry specific domain data, gaining insights using Select AI. Which is with autonomous database, very interesting concept. And then lastly, DBA perform expert using AI assist. I know someone in the chat also asked about that and database 23AI in your favorite internal development environment. So all these are in the chat, so you guys have access to that. So I highly recommend you sign up for all these to continue learning with 23AI and learn AI development.
All right, that ends our
Uh,
presentation. Yeah, go ahead, Chandra.
Thanks a lot, guys. I think you guys are not able to see the live labs, right? Let's share the live labs once again. The links in chat. Blake,
How do
can
you answer here? Type answer. I'll share the answer with one of Vivek. I shared the answer, and then everyone else should be able to see it.
I think can you share in the chat to everyone instead of host and panel? That will suffice.
Oh, okay. You can change the there's only one option, Chandrakant. It only says host and panelist.
Well, as an answer, I can just paste it in Q&A, right?
Yes, I just pasted in Q&A. So it should be in the answered section under 3 different comments. So you guys have access to it.
Oh, wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah, I
And
see.
VK did as well. Yep.
Did you guys get it in chat as well now?
Q&A, not chat.
I shared it in the chat as well.
Okay. Yeah, and it's easy. Just Google Live Labs space Oracle and then search for the word MCP or agent, and you'll get these two labs.
I think thanks everyone for joining. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you and bye.
Thank you, everyone.